Coach.
Give
All
me
right.
just a
Well, good.
second, gentlemen. Good to
Well,
see
I'll say
everybody.
good
Can you
morning,
see?
big
Can
waves,
you see me?
everybody.
Yeah, big,
We can
big
see
waves,
you.
big
We can
waves.
see you.
So I know it might be a little more low key. One good thing, I'll tell you this about being a networker is you never get uncomfortable when you speak in front of people, right? So we're gonna have the coaches corner on the plane this morning, but I'll try not to scream too loud. So we actually, I don't know if any of you call into the elite line if you're a part of our company, but today is Andrew Rios's birthday. So if any of you have a conversation with Andrew Rios today, make sure you let him know that we wish him a happy birthday. But the word for today is actually Arlene Hutchinson. And Arlene came up with straightforward, straightforward. How many of you would say that you feel like you're a pretty straightforward person? Like being honest, clear, direct, without unnecessary complications or hidden agendas. You're just pretty, you're pretty straightforward. So I believe when you carry this characteristic, you say what you mean what you say, you've got transparency, clarity, and you avoid confusion. So, Andrea, here's where I went this morning. So I want to share this. Can you hear me? You can.
You sound
So
great. You sound great.
I'll tell you this in my professional life. Okay. So we can look at being straightforward in relationships, straightforward in, you know, our own personal goals. But I want to talk about my professional life. There's been times where I haven't necessarily been straightforward. And I want to challenge anybody that struggles with this, meaning you struggle with protecting your own time. You struggle with saying no, right? Maybe it's an investment opportunity. You struggle with not wanting to uh, come across rude, not wanting to uh, upset another human. How many of you out there really don't like conflict, right? A lot of people, look at me at some time. They're like, you're a head football coach. You mean you have a problem with conflict? I'll be honest, I really don't like conflict. So a lot of times it could sway me being straightforward. And in my professional life, that has gotten me in trouble. And what I mean by that is rather than saying, let me think about it, I need some time. I can't take that call right now. I'm on a plane. I can't do that Zoom because I've already have one scheduled, and just being truly authentic and not rude, but straightforward, meaning, you know, I have to think about things, right? What if somebody comes to me and says, I got this $250,000 investment I want you to invest in, right? And you don't want to hurt their feelings, and you're like, perfect, I'll do it. Probably not the wisest decision, right? Might need to look and go, you know what? I want some time to think about it. I want to meet with a couple of people. Could you send me the slide deck? Let me take a look at it. Maybe we do a Zoom. Maybe we talk about it more. That's not being rude. That's not, it's just being straightforward. And I would highly recommend if any of you are like me at times in your professional career, just practice and realize it's okay to say, not right now, right? Give me some time to think about it. So just wanted to kind of share my thought around that on the straightforwardness. And here's why it's important. It builds trust. People are okay with that. It also prevents misunderstanding, right? And I've caught myself a lot of times because I wasn't straightforward in that regard. There's some misunderstanding. And I think it helps with personal growth. It makes you grow as a human to be able to kindly, politely say, you know what, give me some time to think about it. Or I'm already booked. I can't do this. Or I have a dinner with a group of people. And so I'm, I'll say I'm not perfect, but I'm better today than what I was 10 years ago. Okay. So I think that's where we're at as humans is we're just always constantly working and fighting to get better. Okay. So that's my thought around that. Hope that helps somebody today.
Well, beautiful lesson this morning, coach. And guys, just in case you think I forced him, like he was not avoiding conflict because I was forcing him to be on while he was on a plane. This was a happy little surprise for me as well. So thank you, coach, for making it happen. And I'm going to say it's not just because he loves Happy Hour Al. I'm going to say it's because he loves all of us that he was doing this from a plane. So what I looked into, the quote that I found was from Thomas Jefferson, and he said, "Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom." And I love that. And we've talked about this recently when we talked about integrity, that I think every single one of us wants to be straightforward and honest and trustworthy and all of these things. Like none of us want to be the person that people can't trust. Like, I don't think anybody's going to raise their hand if we say, hey, who wants to not be like, nobody's going to raise their hand there. But what I looked into is, okay, how can we be more straightforward in daily life? Because none of us, well, maybe some of us do, but most people, we don't want that conflict. We don't want to let people down. We want people to be happy with us. So, how can we be straightforward and keep that? So, first of all, I've got to say what I mean, but I'm going to say it kindly, right? So I can be a little hard, sometimes a little bit too straightforward, I think, where my knee-jerk reaction sometimes can be a very hard no, when I mean it to be a soft and loving no. So say what you mean, but say it with kindness. Number two is to don't overcomplicate things. So clarity beats fluff anytime. Anybody else guilty of this where you try to make excuses or explain or whatever, and what could have been a straight road is now the most winding path that you've given somebody 18 different things to worry about. And it's like, okay, wait a minute, let me just slow this down a little bit, have a little bit more clarity, and not give all the other fluff around what we're trying to do. Next is to be upfront about expectations. And I think that the biggest, in my world, the biggest conflicts have come from misaligned expectations. No malice, no, people being bad or wrong or mean, but just I expected one thing and they expected something else. And so we were misaligned and we didn't realize it. So if we can be very clear with our expectations, I will be there at this time and this is what I will provide and this is what I'm going to do, with either if we're talking about business or family or friendships, if people know what they can expect from us, they can trust that we're going to do what we say we're going to do, and we won't have that misalignment. Next, I'm going to practice active listening. So straightforward communication is a two-way street. So if you tell me ABC, if I'm having straightforward communication, I'm going to repeat it back to you. Like, so what you're telling me is so that I can be sure that I really am understanding what you're saying so that we can make sure those expectations are aligned. Because sometimes we think, like, I'm like, oh, yeah, I gotcha. Oh, no, I sure didn't. I didn't have you. I thought I did, but I was wrong. So, kind of mirroring that back and repeating back, not like our kids used to do, but if we kind of repeat back what somebody says to us, so then we can make sure that we are actually understanding what they're saying. And then, lastly, if I truly want to be straightforward, I can't hide behind excuses. If it's a yes, I've got to say yes. And if it's a no, I have to say no. And I can't lean into, I think that I can't be the only one that's like, well, I really would like to, but my dog has been a little bit under the weather. And so I need to hold her this morning, whatever, right? Like, now I would hold my puppy. That could be a true excuse at the Rosser household. It's a possibility. But just say yes if I mean it and say no if I can't do it, and move on and not try to get all that other stuff in there where we can just be straightforward. So I thought this was a good one today. Thank you, Arlene. You always send us good, thought-provoking words. And yes, if you know Andrew, give him a little bit of love over at the Elite Line. Andrew Rios, we have worked with him for about 15 years now. He's phenomenal. We love him. So we're always so grateful for him. And guys, grateful for you. And just so you know, we're going to be having our Wednesday Wisdom tonight. So if you're part of our company, tune in tonight. We'll have some phenomenal guests doing phenomenal things, and we want you all to learn from it. So thank you, Coach, for jumping in. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you all have a beautiful Wednesday, and we'll see you back later today.
Thank you so
Love
much.
ya.
Thank you.